Hello, hello. So, this is the first episode of my podcast. Uh, Let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Ayub. I am a fourth year student in Metsu in business administration, and I'm an international, so I'm from Pakistan. And I came to Turkey in 2021, so it's been 2 years now. So, I'm quite familiar with the country, the culture, with Metsu especially. And also, I kind of have like a sore throat today, so I might take a little break once in a while to drink water that is right on my table right here. So, the topic I was going to talk about, I was going to focus on something related to studies, but then I realized there's something that maybe doesn't, a topic that doesn't get touched that much, even though it exists, and that is part-time work. So a lot of students in Metsu have a part-time job, especially in their final years, but a lot of them start working in their early years, maybe even in Hazırlık, and it's a story I feel like that is not told that much. Even when you go online, most of the people are talking about how hard studies are in O2, but no one really talks about how hard it is to balance studies with part-time work. Um, for me personally, I never worked part-time, but I worked freelance as a freelancer, and to be honest, technically it was part-time work. I could choose my hours, of course, but even as a freelancer, I decided to, condense my hours into just one part of the day and to make it easier. And frankly, I think if you work just like dedicated hours in a day, it's much more, it's better because then your whole day can be focused on other things as well. But if you just, scatter all your hours throughout the day, it can be a problem. A lot of students in Metsu actually work as freelancers as well. They're working online, they're working on websites like Upwork, Fiverr, or they're working on like more specialized platforms or with companies. But the people that I want to talk about are people like me who had to go to work, like perhaps someone who's working in a cafe or maybe in Çarşı, maybe in Yüzüncü, like in these close proximity areas. Even some students actually go to Kızılay to work, so that's even a bigger problem. And why do I consider it a problem? That's what I'm going to talk about today. So basically, ODTÜ is a very tough university. I was in high school and there were lots of tests, there were lots of midterms, there were lots of, we called those quizzes, checkpoints. We had a lot of those checkpoints. And then we had finals, of course. And at that stage, I used to think, and everybody told me too, that, you know what? This might be the hardest part of your life. After high school, university is relatively easier. Now, they were, of course, talking about easier in terms of exams, because obviously everyone knows university studies are hard. But when I came to Metsu, I was really shocked to see how frequently you are tested. You have quizzes, you have midterms, you have exams, and personally, I don't think that's a good approach. But let's talk about that another day. But the thing is, that thing exists. We have to focus on studies a lot, and the problem is that we have to focus on studies consistently. It's not like you can just leave your studies for the end of the semester. You have to study throughout the semester. Now, add to that a part-time job. Let me paint a picture for you. So here's the routine of a normal student. You wake up, you go to class, you maybe take a break, you go to yemekhane, you go to the library, maybe you study, and then you come back to the dorm. Maybe you socialize with your friends, maybe you have a party in the night or something like that. Now this is what I would say a normal student's routine. But add to that part-time work. Now it might seem like, okay, let's just take out some hours, replace it with part-time work, but it is not like that. Because when you work, you're not a robot. It's not like you just go there for some hours and you come back. That's it. End of debate. It is always going to be a bigger part of your life than you expect it to be. Let's say you work in a cafe. Let's say you work in a coffee shop. obviously you're gonna go there, you're gonna come back, you're gonna work, that's it. But that's only the physical aspect. The mental aspect is that you will have to think about it. Okay, this is what I had to do today, this is what I have to do tomorrow. Maybe you'll have some fights at work, I don't know. And like maybe you have a boss, you have some drama in the coffee shop, but there's always something more to think about. Maybe you have some, how can I say, okay, in terms of coffee shop, it can be a bit simpler, but let's say you're working a more technical job. Let's say you're part-time, working as a teacher. Now you'll also have to prepare your stuff. You'll have to prepare, let's say, maybe your next lecture. And the thing is, even when you come back from work, it's not that you can just reset and then, delve back into the life of university. Obviously, in the back of your head, it's gonna be there somewhere. And, wait, water break. So, yeah. So, I feel like it's like an extra burden for those students. And we really should try to understand and incorporate these kind of, how can I say, differences. Because maybe you are not working, but your friend is. And you should really try to, how can I say, understand their situation. You should be a bit more cooperative. Make sure that you're not trying to pull them away from work or try to make them feel guilty for working. Because obviously when you're working, you're not going to be that active with your friends, in your studies, in your classes. And as a friend, I think the best thing that you can do is not to blame them for it. Because obviously, you as a working student, you already know that you're missing out on some parts. And if someone just, smashes that in your face, it's even worse. So yeah, I guess that's it for today's episode. And I would be really, really interested in knowing your perspective and how you dealt with this kind of situation. Maybe you were working part-time, maybe your friend was working part-time, anything. But yeah, I'm open to feedback and I'm actually curious about the feedback. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next episode. And if you have any suggestions about things I should talk about, just let me know. And this is Ayub signing off for today. Good night.